You wake to a city buried in white. Snow clings to broken cars. Streetlights hang dead above empty roads. The windows around you are dark. The air is knife cold. And somewhere far down the frozen street, something moves. That is the first truth of winter. The zombies are not your only enemy anymore. The dead may hunt you fast, loud, and without mercy. But the cold hunts differently. It does not chase. It does not scream. It just keeps taking your heat, your strength, your time, until one mistake becomes your last. Tonight, you are fighting two enemies at once, the undead and the cold. Survive one night. That means your first priority is not weapons, it is shelter. Before darkness settles in, you need walls, cover, and a place that gives you a chance to stay alive until morning. You scan the frozen block and start thinking like a survivor. You want strong walls, few entry points, protection from the wind. Maybe a small building, maybe the upper floor of a shop, maybe a locked apartment with supplies still inside. But not every shelter is safety. Some places are too open, too cold, too exposed. Big windows leak heat and reveal movement. Large buildings are hard to defend. Basements may hide you, but if infected get in, there may be no way out. A shelter can save your life, but the wrong shelter becomes a frozen trap. So when you finally force your way into an old corner building and seal the main entrance behind you, it does not feel like victory. It feels like borrowed time. Inside, the wind is weaker, but the building is still freezing. Your fingers sting. Your boots are wet. Your breath hangs in the room. Now survival becomes a quieter challenge. You need heat, dry clothing, blankets, insulation, anything that keeps your body from bleeding warmth into the air. You gather curtains, old clothes, cardboard, rugs, whatever you can use to block drafts and thicken the room around you. You choose one smaller space instead of trying to warm the whole building. It is smarter, less heat wasted, less chance of being noticed. Then comes the dangerous idea. Fire. A little heat could save your life. But fire has a price. Smoke can be seen. Light can leak through cracks. Noise while breaking furniture or searching for fuel can carry farther in the still winter air. And in a silent city, even small sounds matter. That is how winter traps you. By the time the wind starts scraping at the walls, your body reminds you of something else. You need food. In freezing weather, hunger changes faster. Your body burns more energy just trying to stay warm. That means food is not comfort anymore. It's fuel. Without it, you weaken sooner, think slower, move worse, and lose your edge when you need it most. But getting food costs energy too. Walking through snow is exhausting. Carrying supplies is harder with frozen hands and heavy clothing. The longer you stay outside, the more the cold takes from you. So if you search, it has to count. You think in practical terms. Abandoned homes, small shops, kitchen cabinets, canned goods, dry food, anything sealed, anything that lasts, anything you can eat without needing too much heat, time, or preparation. Then there's water. Winter makes people forget about thirst, and that's how dehydration sneaks up on you. Pipes may be dead, bottles may be frozen solid. Snow looks like an answer, but snow is work. You have to collect it, melt it, and make sure it's clean enough to drink. You cannot ignore water just because the world is cold. Soon, going outside becomes the real test. The moment you step back into the open, the winter world feels hostile. Deep snow drags at your legs. Wind cuts through every gap in your clothes. Visibility shrinks. The city is quiet in the worst possible way, as if sound itself has frozen. Your movement is slower. Your stamina drops faster. Your footprints mark exactly where you've been. If something goes wrong, escape is harder. A short run in summer becomes a desperate struggle in winter. One slip on ice, one buried obstacle, one hidden infected rising from behind a snow-covered car. That's all it takes. The weather hides them well. Snowfall blurs shapes. Fog softens movement. White streets and gray skies make the dead harder to spot until they're too close. So every trip outside becomes a gamble, and every return feels like luck. Then the supplies start thinning. Your food drops lower. Your water takes longer to prepare. Fire materials shrink into a small, worrying pile. The room is still safer than the streets, but now safety has an expiration date. Staying inside feels smart. Waiting feels calmer. But every hour you remain hidden, your chances quietly get worse. And that's the turning point. The shelter is no longer enough. Now winter forces the final question. Do you stay hidden and hope the cold or hunger doesn't finish what the zombies started? Or do you step back into the storm, risk the streets, the dead, the freezing wind, and the chance that you may never make it back? That is the real horror of a winter outbreak. Survival isn't about escaping danger. It's about choosing which danger you can survive longer. Because winter changes the rules. The zombies are still deadly, but the cold becomes a slow killer that never stops pressing against the walls, your skin, your thoughts. It waits for weakness. It punishes delay. It turns every basic need into a risk. So surviving a frozen outbreak isn't about strength alone. It's about staying warm, staying hidden, staying patient, staying alive long enough to see the next morning. So tell me this, would you risk the storm for supplies, or stay inside and hope the cold doesn't get you first?